Welcome to the If You Ask Betty podcast. This podcast is designed to discuss all kinds of development topics for all kinds of learning professionals. I'm your host, Betty Danowitz, and today we're talking with Tegan Barron and Liz Baranowitz. Oh, I love that your name is so easy like mine. About the Interconnected Collective, which sounds like a sci-fi movie. I'm not going to lie. I feel like this should be some sort of big movie premiere for the Interconnected Collective. Anyways, hi, Tegan. Hi, Liz. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Hi.
Hey, Betty. Thanks for having us.
So glad you're here. Can you help our listeners get to know you just a little bit better? So give us a quick intro about you and maybe even how we met.
Well, we met through a mutual contact, actually through the GLDC. And I was like, hey, is there any other cool folks that I haven't met? And one of them was like, yeah, have you met Betty? And I was like, no, I haven't. So I set up a chat with Betty. If you haven't done so, you need to do so because it's a great chat. And then I told Betty about what's going on. And now I'm here on this podcast. So
Yay.
Definitely worth a chat.
All right. That's cool. And what do you do? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
I do several things, but the long of the short of it is I do project management for a living, and then I work on a side thing at Interconnected Collective, or as I like to call it, INCO.
INCO, which is probably a little less sci-fi. Interconnected Collective. I feel like we need sci-fi music right here in the podcast. Something that sounds, you know what I mean? Otherworldly.
Yeah, just
put that in.
laser noises or something.
Yeah, something, 80s reminiscent, but yeah. Anyways, cool. Liz, how about you? Give us a quick intro.
Yeah. My name is Liz Baranowitz. For my day job, I am a UX designer and strategist for a IT distributor. And then, one of my big side projects is here with INCO and Tegan. And just excited to talk to you today and share more about what we do.
Me too. I can't wait to hear a little bit more about the Interconnected Collective. So we're going to start at the beginning. What the heck is it?
What the heck is it? That's a great question. It is a community of folks that have gotten together to work on a project so that they can showcase to people what they're actually working on. And
yeah, so we're a group of techies. We're LGBTQIA plus aligned, very much focus of a lot of our joys and our advocacy. And we wanted to, do some cool techie things with each other together and have an opportunity to build community, flex our skills, and just kind of do something fun.
Well, I do love the community part for sure. I mean, you've got multiple layers there, right, of community going on. Tell us a little bit more about the projects that you guys work on, because I've heard of things like this before. I have a hard time putting them into words because, so I'm hoping you can. So tell us a little bit more about, what are the types of projects that come out of the Interconnected Collective? I'm going to always call it that. You can call it INCO, but it's way too much fun. And there are little green monsters, not monsters, little green men in my head coming for the Interconnected Collective. Sorry, I watch a lot of Star Trek and Star Wars. So this is
great timing because one of the things I'm currently working on is a sort of partial redesign and rebranding. So maybe little green men are just what we need to start looping into our brand
I love
guidelines and our design systems.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll throw that on the Post-it notes and we'll see. Maybe you've inspired something big.
Because okay. So do either of you watch Star Trek? We're going to go down this rabbit trail because I can't help myself. Have you ever watched Star Trek? Okay. So it's like the Borg. The Borg is an interconnected collective. You know this, right? They are.
Right.
That's what they are. Literally an interconnected collective. So it's now the Borg also are the bad guys. So we probably don't want the Borg, but it's something. There's something there.
I just finished an audiobook last night, Chuck Tingle's new book, Bury Your Gaze, which is around Hollywood and the movie industry. But there's a very Borg adjacent, interconnected mind plot line throughout it that was really good. Anyway, you should definitely read it or listen to it. It was super good. And if you
it's
know
called
Chuck
Bury Your
Tingle,
Gaze.
Bury Your Gaze, yeah. If you know of him from his satirical work, this will pleasantly surprise you. It's just like a really good sci-fi commentary on Hollywood and society.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's on my list. Okay, sorry, back to the question. Coming back. Yeah, tell us about the project. Like,
Yeah,
what kinds of things?
Our core project is a bingo game, an online bingo game that is designed to play alongside a virtual conference. So specifically, it was started to go alongside Lesbians Who Tech, the 2023 Fall Summit. Tegan? Yeah, okay. So basically, yeah, it's a online bingo game where you can check off, classic virtual conference things, and then also classic, LGBTQIA plus things. Someone saying, "Can you see my screen?" practically could be the center bingo square. But then
I say it all the time.
I know, right? And then
I feel like I have to. Hold on. I feel like I have to say I'm going to share my screen. Like, it's part of protocol. And then I'll say, can you see my screen? Everybody can see my screen. Like, I feel like you have to. I could do a whole podcast on have tos. Anyways.
I mean, if you don't ask, then it's definitely not sharing. So if you do ask,
every single time. Yeah.
That's how that works.
Okay. So I love the bingo idea. Well, let's put a pin in that. I want to talk about that a little bit more in a minute, but are there other things, like, because I noticed on the website, I did spend a little time there, that do you guys do things like for charity or nonprofits or free work? Like, how does all of that layer in? If the answer is no, that's okay. But I thought that's what I read.
So we do a lot of work with a lot of organizations, and we're just here to help any organization or any conference. So going back to the bingo game, we do the unofficial Lesbians Who Tech bingo game. We're not affiliated with them in any way, shape, or form. They know about us. They love us. But we're not connected with them in any way, shape, or form. We're creating the game for the people that are attending the conference who struggle with saying hello to their neighbor.
Oh, wow, that's not me, but I get it. Like, I know a lot of people like that because I'm saying hi to them and they're like, why is she talking to me? So
exactly.
Cool. Yeah.
So to break that barrier and going to these type of conferences and being like, hey, I've got a bingo card, and right here it says, hey, let's get your bingo partner and do a little dance. It encourages you to break out and say hi to people and talk to people and get those connections and network than just going there and standing there going, there's nobody here I can talk to because there's nobody I know. But that's the point of going to a conference.
Yeah, that's so fun. Super fun. I like that. So what inspired you to create a place like the Interconnected Collective? Like, how did you get started?
Well, I can bore you with the long and the short of it, or I can go into a really fun story. Okay. So the really fun story is I'd been attending conferences for years, much like a lot of folks that are listening. And I got to a point of attending these conferences and being like, how can I stand out in this crowd? Me, myself. And I was like, you know what? I want to stand out, and I'm going to gamify this conference that I really enjoy. And one of the people that I saw on LinkedIn, who was a friend of mine, I was like, hey, I saw that you recently just graduated from boot camp and you created a tic-tac-toe game. Now think of the similarities between tic-tac-toe and bingo. They're pretty identical-ish. Yeah, they're cousins. And I was like, hey, what if we take your tic-tac-toe game and turn it into a bingo game for this conference? And they were like, yeah, that sounds like a really great idea. When's the conference? I was like, you've got 48 hours. And they were like, all right, I'm game. I'm like, all right, let's do this. So in 48 hours, we got out our first bingo game. And by no means was it perfect, but it worked. It was MVP by all means. And people absolutely loved it. We talked about it left and right on social media. People were playing it. And it got us so much notoriety that was like, hey, let's continue this. Let's keep going with this idea. And it's branched out into what we've learned is there seems to be a hole in the hiring market. And that hole is that if you're somebody who's fresh out of college or fresh out of a boot camp, How do you get into a position and you get stuck in what I like to call the Job Eddy? And the Job Eddy is you need to have experience to get the job. But to get the job, you need to have the experience.
Yeah.
And there's no way of breaking out of this. The other person that's also stuck in this eddy is somebody who is transitioning careers. So say, for example, you're doing data management and it's just not in your heart anymore. And you want to get into website design. Again, you get stuck in the Job Eddy of you need to have experience to get the job, but to get the job, you need to have experience. And these folks have the skills, but there's just no way to break in. So getting these folks to work on a single project that people can participate in and they can take up to a recruiter and say, hey, I've created this game for this conference. Do you want to talk to me? And they actually want to talk to you. They're like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. So the whole Job Eddy, which by the way, at first I thought you said Job Eddy. And I was like, don't bring me into this. But okay, the whole Job Eddy thing, right? That's a big thing in the learning and development industry because especially people are first coming in because, okay, so here's the thing, like I'm just going to throw out a statistic. It's fine because 50% of statistics are made up right on the spot 85% of the time. So like probably somewhere between 80 and 90% of the people that are in L&D got there because they were really good at their job and they said, hey, do you want to train other people how to do it? And you're both nodding your head. Like there's very few people out there that actually went to school to do this on purpose. I'll give you a great example other than myself and probably most of the people listening. The guy that does my editing for me, his name is Casmer. He's awesome. He graduated last year with a degree in anthropology and he got his very first grown up 9 to 5 Monday through Friday job as a training specialist at a mortgage company. Now, actually, he's probably going to use a lot more anthropology in being a training specialist than a lot of people would think. But he became a trainer because he's also really good at editing podcasts, editing video. You know, he's got some of those other transferable skills. So my point is that whole Job Eddy thing, it happens when people are going into an industry, when they're moving around an industry, right? I know for me, I was really great at working at a bank, brick and mortar. And then our branch got robbed 5 times in 2.5 years. And I was like, you know what? I need to look for something else. A job opened in HR as a training specialist. They were like, Betty, you're really good at your job. Fast forward 20 years later, I am really good at my job now. Right. So, but it would have been great to have something like that where you can get some experience in the thing that you're interested in and then actually have a portfolio to show somebody to try to get a job. I love this. Is that what you were going for?
Yes, by all means. I mean, even going back to the L&D thing, I actually, in one of the beginning parts of my career, tried to get into L&D. And I have a teaching degree, and I was a high school teacher. And I went into corporate America saying, hey, I've got a teaching degree. I've been a high school teacher applying for these L&D jobs. And the hiring managers, not the recruiters, but the hiring managers laughed in my face saying, I have no experience.
Yeah, you probably have the better experience than most of us that get into these jobs.
I always forget that you were a teacher, and then your patient and lovely understanding nature reminds me.
And you're like, oh yeah, high school students. Whoo. Yeah.
So I think we've all experienced it in some way, shape, or form.
So is it only the game, or do you do other things that are game adjacent? And again, okay, if it's only the game. I'm just wondering if there's...
Currently, we just have the bingo game. The bingo game has a lot of potential to do some sort of adjacent things with, though. We did actually just do a rework of it, aligned to the Super Bowl, or the big game, as we called it, so as to, keep things not unbranded.
Sure.
Yeah, so we redid the coloring and visual of it, redid all the squares, and then launched it alongside the Super Bowl. So that was a really fun kind of quick tweak on it that we decided to do just kind of on a whim. I actually missed that meeting. I was out of town, I think, and then I came back and was like, what are all these notes about the football in our Discord? What?
What are we talking about?
And then
Football.
it was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going to work on redesigning this bingo game to look like
super fun.
But,
so I attend a lot of conferences, almost all of them, and all the time, the learning ones. And I have a problem, by the way. It's a good problem. It depends on who you ask. But okay, but I go to a lot of them, and I think this could be really fun add to them. What are some of the things like in the bingo game? Because I totally get bingo. I love bingo. I'm almost to the age where it's acceptable for me to go and like join a local bingo club. I'm getting there. Right now, if I go in, they'd be like, oh, these youngsters, I don't know why I gave it that accent, but I did. But but I'm almost there. But anyways, my point is, I get bingo. What are some of the squares? So maybe tell me about like the things I'd be looking for at the first one you did, the Lesbians Who Tech conference. Like what were some of the squares, just to get an idea, because like we're used to bingo being like, B7. So like what would be some of the things?
For the virtual LGBT, there was like spot a rainbow flag, or like someone's pet walks across the screen.
Oh, that's fun.
Can you see my screen was a classic. I can't remember if this might have been a little more topical. It's a little more recently topical, but there might have just been someone mentions AI as like the center basically again.
So I love it because there are things that encourage engagement, because you have to be listening, you have to be looking. Do you have squares that like sort of require them to talk to people?
No, it's more of an observational kind of thing.
Observing,
but,
yeah.
One of our alumni, Olivia, did ask. She was talking to somebody, and one of the squares was like someone's wearing a denim jacket, and I think she had that person send a selfie of them wearing a denim jacket to like I think through LinkedIn Messenger, so she could check the square. So I would do that in a heartbeat. Not against the rules. You can straight up ask people to fulfill your squares, and you've done networking then, so it's double benefit.
So I love the virtual part. What about in person? Have you done one for in person, or at least thought about like how it might be different?
So we have done one for in person. The actual Lesbians Who Tech is kind of going away with the virtual conference that they've been providing and are now going to in person. So that's caused us to have to switch our game. Yeah. So instead of, can you see my screen, doesn't apply when you're in person, because obviously you're in person. So we had to switch up the cards. And for example, while standing in line, find somebody who's wearing a rainbow and say hi to them.
And say hi to them.
Oh. And say hi.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine for me, but the introverts all cringed right then. They're like, oh, I don't know. I'd have to pick another square. There's got to be another way.
And there's lots of options.
Yeah. I love that. Liz is like, depends on how bad you want to win. So what do they win? Oh, what do we win? We should talk about that. Are there prizes?
Eternal leaderboard glory.
Oh, I guess that's fine. But in person, you could definitely do some sort of prize, right? I mean, you could do it virtually, but it might get a little wonky and complicated. But in person, like, trinkets and trash, people love trinkets and trash.
Oh, yeah. We have a ton of things on our potential developments on our roadmap and ways that we can make it more interactive, do more online and in person, visions for completely different games even, that you'll have to just follow us to find out more about. Hopefully in, the next few months, maybe we'll have something new.
That was a hint.
Yeah, we definitely we love the part of the great thing about this group is it's our project, and it's, we're not actually beholden to any sponsors currently, or we're open to sponsors. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Sponsors who are listening.
Any sponsor listening. Yeah. They're open to it. Got it.
So when we meet, we chat, we talk about what we want to do, ideas we have, and it's a collaborative decision-making process about what we're going to do next. And it's very aligned to, especially for folks who are trying to get into tech or get into their first corporate jobs. We do have to take into consideration things like our resources and staffing and availability, technical limitations, timing, juggling features versus time versus effort versus, the person who was doing most of our, front end work just had to, go take care of some personal life things. So we're going to, deprioritize a few of those features and do a little bit more on the back end this time. So it's really, it's really great that we get to have this super collaborative process. And that's part of the point of it, is that we get to do cool things together with cool people.
Yeah, I really like that. And I love hearing about everything you're doing with the Interconnected Collective. I had to get it in there again. What are your future plans for it? Like, what are your hopes for where it's going to go next? I mean, you already dropped a hint that there might be another game, which is cool. Maybe. We don't know for sure. Probably. But so what else? What else are you thinking? What are some of your big hopes and dreams?
Big hopes and dreams are that people see more of a value in this, because there is such a great value whether you're creating the game or a participant, and that we are able to take these games to conferences or to anywhere else to gamify connectivity.
Mm-hmm.
AKA the Interconnected Collective. It's not just us as the group, it's everybody.
Yeah. You're trying to make them all work. Slow process, I know. Okay. Questions here. Okay, wait. Do you want more people to get involved? And if so, how do they get involved with the Interconnected Collective?
Of course, we want more people. I want to help more people. I want to get people into the jobs that they want to do and get them out of the jobs that they don't want to do. And you can go to our website and fill out the application to join us, or you can even just send us an email with your ideas. If you've got a square idea that you would love to see, most of our squares are from participants who are like, oh my God, this so needs to be a square. And we're like, and done.
Yeah, I have an idea for a square. Tell me if you already have this one. Okay. I think whether it's in person or virtual, there needs to be a square that says somebody quotes a Taylor Swift lyric, or insert whoever, Kanye West, whatever. It can be, I mean, I wouldn't know any of his lyrics, but somebody might, I don't know. So like somebody quotes that, and then somebody says something that's so 80s.
Phrase that's so 80s, or just?
No, It's like something that they said is so 80s, like totally rad, or rad is 80s. Do you know that? I know you're both pretty young. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Totally rad, or what's another 80s one? Sometimes I get 80s and 90s mixed up because I was, I grew up in both. So what's another 80s one? Bodacious. Yeah, totally tubular. Like, because that stuff's coming back. So like that could be a really fun one, right? Or you could even just put somebody says that's so rad or whatever.
Like Be Quiet, Murphy Brown is on.
Yeah, something like that.
Good.
Now that would be like if somebody actually got that, they should instantly win a prize.
Yeah.
Instant. Yeah.
It's the golden square.
It's the golden. It is. It is. All right. What else do you want us to know about the Interconnected Collective? Anything else?
Building off like what Tegan was saying about folks getting involved and applying. That we're always open to new people. We are, we're of course protective of our special group and our special projects that we get to work on. So, we want to make sure that folks who join that it's a very mutually beneficial agreement and fit. So, but yeah, we're looking, I can tell, especially right now, we're looking for project managers, graphic designers, marketing folks. Developers are the one thing we're pretty stocked on, but we're always open to talking to more developers too.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes developers can project manage too. They might not tell you that up front, but they actually can.
Yeah, but we want them to stick around. So if we start making them project manage, they might.
Did you hear that, Tegan? She told that was a slight against project managers.
I know, we're not a liked group.
It was not.
You know why? Because you're the ones going, did you get it done yet? We're waiting for you.
I mean, being a project manager is in my teacher blood.
Absolutely it is. It's 100%. Like that's like your number one skill set is you have to be able to manage projects and herd cats also.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Anything else about the Interconnected Collective? I just wanted to
just come out and join us. I mean, take a look at our website, see what we're up to, play our game, help us with anything, everything that you can, because like this needs to be a bigger thing. Even if you're in the L&D field, come join us. There's room for you here.
Agreed. I think you might have a little bit of what is it? What is it? It's the what is it? What? My words are gone. Tegan, you have like the vision casting. Am I right, Liz? Is she like the vision caster? Like you have like you're like the encourager. You're like the cheerleader, the inspirer. That's the word that I could not come up with.
Big founder energy. Yeah.
Yes, there. Thank you. Big founder energy. That's the nicest I've ever heard it put. I like that.
Tegan's amazing. Tegan is the force that,
she's like, come on out, join
brought
us.
INCO into coalescing into existence by first being like, hey, Lane, what about if in 48 hours you did this thing? And then like slowly starting to reach out and meet folks and be like, hey, do you want to maybe do this project with us? That's how I got in. Tegan and I met via chat in the conference, and then LinkedIn.
I think you could really help. I think it could be great. Yeah, you're very inspiring. I feel inspired.
I mean, Liz is being really nice with that story because literally Liz was the second person that I brought in, and somehow I coerced Liz into joining this project that had me and Lane, and that was it. So I don't know how it happened, but I appreciate that Liz took me up and was like, yeah, you seem legit. Let's do this. And it's blossomed into this.
The vision was there.
So far, it's so good with the legit. Yeah, I like it. All right. As we're wrapping up, I have 2 more quick questions. And the first question is, what is your hidden talent?
I really struggled with this question, but you know what? I'm going to say that I'm old school, even though you said that I was super young, and I like to send cards.
Oh,
like actual cards through the mail. Remember those people?
I have received
I love cards. That is a wonderful talent that's hidden until you get a card. I love that. Keep doing that because everyone loves cards. Do you put confetti in them?
They come with pre-confetti in them.
They do?
Yes.
So that you always, whenever you get a card from Tegan, you got to open it over the garbage can?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. We do that in our family. Some of us, I do that. My aunt does that. Sometimes my aunt uses glitter. I'm like, that's mean.
It's a lot.
I mean, confetti, at least I can pick it up, but glitter is there it's forever. Yeah. What about you, Liz? What's your hidden talent?
Well, it's debatably hidden. It's hidden to everyone listening here because they don't really know me, but I play roller derby, and it's like, 80% of my life basically is roller derby. I coach, I skate. I'm heading to Dallas for a tournament next weekend. So
tell me about the injuries you've had playing roller derby. Give me the bulleted list.
I broke the heck out of my leg at my 3rd practice ever. That was a compound tib fib fracture. So my leg, part of my leg was facing a different way than it started that day. But I had always wanted to do derby, and it just like kind of never worked out. And so when that happened, I was like, absolutely not. This is not over yet. So I asked the doctor, my surgeon, how long till I can get back on skates. And bless his heart, and his residency with the Miami Dolphins, he did not even blink at that question and just matter-of-factly told me 6 months. So 6 months awesome. To the day, I was back at practice.
That's an amazing hidden talent too.
Years ago, I think.
I wonder if there's even, I'm in the Detroit area. I don't even know if we have roller derby here. Maybe. I would imagine it's gotta be. Sounds terrifying. But I did used to roller skate.
Nice.
Like in the 80s.
Nice.
And the early 90s when, with the lights and like.
It's still fun.
Yeah.
I practiced at a rink with all the lights.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On like that for practice.
That's super fun. So how can people connect with you if they want to after the show?
IncoCollective.com. So INCO collective.com.
Okay.
You can also follow INCO on LinkedIn. Tegan and I are both pretty active on LinkedIn. And both of us are always happy to connect with folks and even have chats. Tegan has a whole chat with strangers sort of program that
She likes to talk to strangers.
Yeah, so
she does. She does a nice job too. She does a really nice job of talking to strangers. She made me feel very comfortable. Well, thank you so much, Tegan Barron and Liz Baranowitz. Nope, Baranowitz. No,
what does it rhyme with?
Danowitz. Baranowitz.
Yes,
Baranowitz. I got it. For sharing your thoughts today, and thank you so much, listeners. Watch for another episode of the If You Ask Betty podcast soon. Peace out.